A few weeks back, somebody asked me a question in the comments and asked if I hated spending money. And I do get accused of being a miser, of being tight, and that I would rather live in austerity than spend any money. Which is obviously from people who have absolutely no idea what my channel is about or what I do. So I don't worry about stuff like that. But do I hate spending money? I don't hate spending money at all. What I hate is spending my money on things that don't enrich my life, are cheap and nasty and don't last. And the way retail works now, when you have companies like Temu and Amazon, and probably for a large part sites like eBay as well, is a lot of tat being sold so that companies make money. And it's at the environment's expense, because most of it's plastic rubbish that goes in the bin in a very short space of time. And also it's a detriment to you, because it's keeping you perpetually in debt, because the idea is that you're not keeping track of any of this. You are just, you're bored, you've got your phone out, you're scrolling through Amazon, maybe you've seen something for sale on an Instagram reel and you think, oh, I'll have that, and then you probably use it a few times and it goes in the back of a cupboard. And that's how these companies thrive, on your need to buy stuff regardless of its use or how long it will last. And that's what I don't like doing, is wasting money on stuff that I don't need when I could be putting it into things that I do need. So no, I don't hate spending money, but I like to spend it wisely. And I know that I don't have a lot of money, and I don't have money to just literally throw away for Amazon's profit margins. That's the problem. Well, it's not a problem at all, actually. It's really good. So when I moved into my own place, which was in 2018, so almost 6 years ago, it had been a sudden change. I had lost my workshop studio and moved my business back to home, into the spare room, which in many ways was good. It means I wasn't paying rent on the studio, but of course I was now renting my own place, which is pretty much the first time I'd ever done that. So those were higher expenses, but I was in control of them. So I knew that I had to be more careful with my money, because I didn't know what the future was going to bring. I knew that I needed to hang on to emergency savings, because you never know what's around the corner. So I became very mindful about the way I spend my money. I prioritised the things that I know I need to pay for first, like a roof over my head, like ensuring that my car remains properly maintained, so that I can use it and it's not going to cost me loads of extra money because I scrimped on an oil change or a tyre or whatever else it was. I do things when they need to be done, and that keeps my car in good condition and always reliable. I've learned how to food shop really cheaply. I have more food than I need, theoretically. I don't starve by any stretch of the imagination, but my food bill is really cheap. And there will be an entry coming up soon. I haven't decided when to put it in, probably before the new year, about what I spend on food and how I get that bill so low. And that's because there's a lot of food that goes to waste, and I don't like waste. I like to reuse things, repurpose things, and that's just because that's inherently in my nature. I've always been a little bit of a DIYer. I've always been able to repair my own clothes because I taught myself to sew. So there are all sorts of things that I do because it's just in my nature. I don't repair my clothes because I'm too tight to buy new ones. I repair them because I like the clothes I own, and I'd like to keep wearing them because they're comfortable, because they make me feel better when I'm wearing them, and because buying new clothes is quite difficult now. It's very difficult to get things that fit properly. It's difficult to find things that you really like. You're always compromising. So when I find something that I really like, or something that I've bought and then altered to make it properly fit me, as often happens, I like to keep using it. So that's why I do it. And that's not because I'm tight or miserly or I love living like some kind of Victorian pauper. It's because I like the things I own, and why shouldn't I keep using them? Whose problem is that? Nobody's. So no, I don't hate spending money. I like to be careful with my money. I respect the money I have because I don't have tons of it to fling around, and that's fine. It's made me a more careful person with my money, and I think we could all do with being a bit more careful with our money. There's this kind of culture of living in debt, credit cards not being paid off, constantly worrying whether or not you're going to have enough to pay the bills, and lockdowns and whatever has come over the last few years has really sorted people who have had money or been careful with their money compared to the people who live permanently on the edge of bankruptcy. And so many people have lost their homes and what have you. And that's never been a worry for me, purely because I'm incredibly careful with my money, and it's paid off. It has absolutely paid off. So no, don't hate money. I like money. I like saving. I enjoy looking for saving accounts. I love the Money Saving Expert website and keeping up with Martin Lewis and stuff like that. I think if I had more money and I was a bit more savvy, I'd probably be a little bit of a wheeler and a dealer, but I'm not because I'm too cautious. But yeah, so I thought I would answer that. I think it's a good question, because when you see someone not spending money, you wonder why. Is it because they're just a Scrooge? Is it because they can't? Or is it because they know when they're wasting their money and when they're getting a good deal? So that is my full response to that question, and I hope you find that interesting. I find it an interesting subject, money culture, all that sort of thing. So that's that. Thank you.